So this right here is what the monthly mortgage payment on a $400,000 house used to be. And this is what they are now. Are those days of housing affordability gone for good? Well, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. Let's go ahead and dive into renting versus owning right now and see how it pans out from here. For starters, the cost of purchasing a home compared to renting one has reached an all-time high, surpassing even the gap that was observed during the housing bubble back in 2006. Seeing these numbers compared to back in 2006, 7, and 8 is concerning. Now, according to data from CBRE, the cost of buying a home right now exceeds renting by 52%. You heard that right, 52%. In contrast, during the peak of the housing bubble in 2006, the cost of buying was only 33% higher than renting, a gap that quickly reversed as housing prices plummeted down during the Great Recession. In terms of actual dollars, this means that new homeowners today face monthly expenses of $3,322 a month, folks, while those who opt for new leases are only paying an average of $2,184 per month. So this significant premium, of course, is due primarily to a combination of factors that includes, of course, the inventory shortage and shortage of available homes available, so prices skyrocketed, Fed's decision to keep the interest rates on an upward trajectory, and those high interest rates have significantly impacted the mortgage prices. And to put it mildly, in the near term, renting is absolutely going to be much more cost effective for you than buying something. To add to this craziness of CBRE's assessment is the fact that they didn't even include expenses related to the home maintenance when they were compiling their data. Not to mention, a lot of people go out there and just go shopping. They go crazy when they buy a new home. So 52% is actually much lower than the true difference between renting and owning. And this is really getting out of hand, folks. The disparity between costs of buying and renting is even more pronounced in various US cities, with many exceeding the national average. Even cities that are typically regarded as affordable, like Tulsa and Omaha, they've experienced a surge in home buying costs, surpassing typical rental rates. Southern California, of course, always stands out as the most expensive region for home buyers, where the premium for buying in Orange County and Los Angeles is more than 200% higher than simply renting. I don't know how any real estate investors can get by on the long-term landlording side. The continuous rise in home prices coupled with 8% mortgage rates contributes to the substantial cost difference between buying and renting. Now, that said, when determining the right time to buy, it still largely really depends on how long one intends to live in the house. The general rule of thumb on this is to plan on residing in the home for at least 5 years in order to make the purchase financially beneficial, considering expenses such as real estate commissions and the closing costs that are factored in as well. However, given the current environment of high mortgage rates and elevated home prices, one must extend that time frame to at least 7 years, if not longer. Prospective homebuyers should carefully analyze various scenarios based on their current income, expected expenses, expected change in earnings, and projected rent increases in the coming years. Homeowners do have the advantage of benefiting from price appreciation, of course, and can potentially improve their financial situation when selling, if not potential tax advantages to home ownership as well. An advantage not available, of course, to renters. But additionally, homeowners can refinance at lower mortgage rates when prices do stabilize, but one should not expect us to be too far below 6% in the coming years. And who knows where prices will be in coming years. So any decision you make based on the speculation of a decrease to interest rates is just that, it's speculative. Now, ultimately, the decision of whether the break-even point between buying and renting is reached involves several assumptions, and it should be made based on individual circumstances, okay? So your particular circumstances are what matter here. There are still pockets in the US where buying makes sense. So it's all about weighing the pros and cons in any given situation. Now, I'm curious here. Have any of you guys been in the market for a house this year? What was your experience like? I know I have been. I recently sold a property that I was using for cold winters in Florida while I used this property here in Colorado and enjoyed, the nice warmer climates during the summer because of this out here. Guys, take a look at the market. This is what we're experiencing right now. Obviously gorgeous outside, but quite chilly, quite chilly. That's a little too bright for me. So the fact is this, I've been looking for a potentially new winter spot. I just was not happy with the high insurance costs of Florida at this point. They just keep going higher and higher. Ultimately didn't enjoy the condo lifestyle. I had never experimented with that before and just decided it's a little too close to neighbors coming from a property where I'm surrounded by hundreds of acres. And just shopping these prices in some of these other warmer climates has made me realize that if we do in fact choose to enjoy a warmer area of the country for a period of time, that going in and renting there before going in and investing in a property is going to make the best sense. And I'll be doing that in a way where I can potentially earn revenues from it, which is always something I do. I always try and take advantage of that lifestyle asset or hack style approach to real estate. This property behind me has generated almost $220,000, $219,000 and change over the last 4 summers on the short-term rental market. So I'm always looking for ways to offset costs of a property. Luckily, this property was purchased in 2019 for $610,000 and is now valued at twice that. So we did very well on the timing of the acquisition of this property. And my concern at this point is that an appreciation rate anywhere close to that of which we've experienced for the last 4 years is highly unlikely going to be the case over the next 4. It is unsustainable. In fact, I just know that mathematically it's impossible for those types of appreciation levels to continue. And given the high interest rate hikes recently, it's unlikely we're going to see anything close to that, perhaps even in our lifetimes. So I'm sort of sitting on the sidelines myself at this point as somebody that's looking at buying. What about you? Have you thought about purchasing something over the last year? What did you decide to do? Have you decided to hold off? What did you plan to do with it if you bought it? If you did buy something, is it for primary use or are you using it as a way to make money? Very curious to hear how you guys are interacting. Until I see you guys on the next video, I appreciate your time today. We'll catch you on the next one. Keep on cash flowing. Take care.